It's not easy to understand why stocks go up and down, but even in volatile markets, there's always a discoverable and logical reason behind price action. Story trading is a social investing community of investors who share information to uncover the hidden stories behind the trade through the 4 pillars of fundamentals, catalyst, sentiment, and technicals. All price action can be understood through the lens of these pillars, allowing for a holistic view that empowers better decision-making. Only by understanding markets can you beat them. Join our community today and start making sense of markets.
So there you have it, folks. The 4 pillars of story trading: catalyst, fundamentals, sentiment, and technicals. That's what sets us apart from 95% of other traders. We actually believe markets can make sense, and there's a reason why stocks are priced where they are, whether that's a quote-unquote overvaluation or whether that's a quote-unquote undervaluation. We actually do the research to seek out, to understand why a stock where it is. Sometimes that's a combination of factors in addition to fundamentals, sentiment, catalysts, and technicals. And when you do all of that homework and you understand why a stock is priced where it is today, then the huge reward that comes with that is when there's a delta of information, when there's a catalyst, you can interpret that data and the impact that data is going to have in the market and predict immediate re-ratings of the stock, what direction it's going to go in, the magnitude of those directions. That's how we do it over here at Story Trading. And we've had so many successes. It's countless, really. Like, we're nailing it on this show almost every single day. And we've been so successful that one of our members here in the community is actually starting up his own hedge fund based on the philosophies of what we're doing on this show here. So good stuff. Pay attention, and you can spread this link with your friends. We're going to start, as we always do, with the macro, looking at QQQ, SPY, and some other factors that it could impact the overall market. Then we're going to head into specific stocks. This week is earnings week. Really started last week with finance stocks. We had Goldman Sachs this morning. You can see didn't have a good earnings, down 3%. But what we're really looking forward to is Netflix on Thursday. In the past, Netflix has set the tone, has changed the direction, has changed the sentiment, and it's possible it can play that role again here because we've had a nice bear market rally. The question is this going to continue? How long is it going to continue for? You can see we're in between key moving averages on the QQQ, the 50 and the 200. If you switch to the weekly chart, you can see we're right at resistance. That's on the QQQ. So now we're at kind of a decision point at these resistance levels. The SPY, you can see we're getting near to the 50-week moving average of 403. So as we're at these decision points, that Netflix is going to be amplituded that much more. And any kind of guidance they give or sentiment about the macro economy or anything we can read through from consumer demand. So that's what I have my eyes on Thursday with Netflix. Other things to look out for. Obviously, we're watching China and what's going on there with COVID fallen off. They had good numbers overnight with GDP. So that was good to hear. But there's another thing to be aware of is Bank of Japan with their bonds. Now, this is not my area of expertise, but as I understand it, what's going on there with the Bank of Japan can have an impact on U.S. bonds. You can see TLT is down, and that's causing UUP to go up. There's apparently over $1 trillion in U.S. bonds held by Japanese institutions that they may be incentivized to sell off. That's a broad story there. I don't know the details too much, but we'll always watch TLT and UUP because this has a very important impact on the market. As UUP goes up, that means higher expectations of higher interest rates, which is bad for risk assets. So speaking of risk assets, what we're looking at this morning, RK and BITO, these two are up sharply green. So that actually makes me very bullish for today on risk assets. We can see QQQ and SPY are down, but with RK and Bitcoin up, Bitcoin has been a great leading indicator, by the way, for risk. It's up 9% since the close on Friday, roughly, using this ETF, BITO. So that means I'm looking forward to a good day for some of the risk assets. Now, speaking of Bitcoin, so we're going into individual stocks now. One of the things that I like here is Square. Square has been a longtime favorite of mine. By the way, what we're looking at here are 300 stocks on a watch list that are curated by people in our community. So if you become a Story Trading member, you get access to a WhatsApp group. We collaborate all the time on new ideas. So a lot of these are my own ideas, a lot from other people. So I have 300 stocks that we already know, we already understand to some level the fundamentals and the sentiment behind it. So when catalysts hit, we look at the news feed every morning. When a catalyst hits, we're ready to pounce on it, and we understand which direction it's going to go. Now, Square, I've been noticing great fundamentals, great story here. And I've been noticing over the past year or so, it really trades with Bitcoin. For whether that's warranted or not, it's a fact. Now, Bitcoin has been up sharply. Square has not had a huge move up here from the bottom. 60 to about 70. Last week, we called a swing target of about $75 at the 200 DMA. It's a little bit lower now, 74.50. But I think with Bitcoin having a huge move this morning, pretty good bet. It's already proving that out, up 1.27%. So your target there is a 200 DMA on Square. Tesla, we've been on top of this story like a hawk. Last week, it was 2 Fridays in a row where the stock opened down red and then closed green, or almost green. I'm not sure if it closed green on Friday. No, almost closed green, but it was an open red candle. So when you reverse intraday and you end up doing well on bad news, that's a real good sign. The bad news was lowering prices dramatically, and we've talked about it in the chat rooms why that could be good for Tesla longer term. So this is very interesting because we're interacting with the 20-day moving average on Tesla. So we'll have to see. This already hit our target. This was our swing target we set last week, was at the 20 DMA. So we hit target 1. So now today we're going to be evaluating if there's going to be a target 2 up here. Look at the 50 DMA all the way up at 152. I'd like to see Tesla close above the 20 DMA today. If it does, potential move all the way to 150. If you go to the weekly candles, you'll see here the 200-week moving average at about 165. So good possible news for Tesla. Let's see if we can close above the 20 DMA. And of course, Air has went up sharply in sympathy with Tesla because they are big provider to Tesla for the devices that burn in silicon carbide. We all know that story. We've been riding this from $2.50, hit a new 52-week high last week, new all-time high last week, one of the biggest winners in the story trading community. Another stock to look at, BABA. Ryan Cohen takes a big stake trying to get BABA to do more buybacks. So this one, we were talking about, Tony was talking about it last week when it was right below the 200 DMA, talking about COVID and how it's ending. He was right on target. He is great in our community. And then the next day, believe it or not, Vegas, who's going to join us later on the show, Vegas pops in the next day and says, hey, I like BABA for a swing here. And I chimed in and said, yeah, not only do I like it for a swing, but I like it for a price target of 128. So we said that last week. It's moving up towards that. We have the additional catalyst here of Ryan Cohen taking a stake. So I have an upward bias on BABA today towards a swing target of 128. We'll have to see how that plays out. Now, any of these swing targets, we're talking about holding for multiple days, maybe multiple weeks. A lot of times, though, they come true on the same day or the next day because we're acting on near-term catalysts that just happened that can cause rapid re-ratings in the stock. Another one we're going to mention, CLF, which we were on top of this whole big jump over here. It hit our initial target of the 200 DMA. But now, and the catalyst was the fundamentals, right? The fundamentals of higher selling prices, lower input prices. Then they got a huge price target upgrade last week to $26. They have earnings in about 2 weeks. So now you have event anticipation. And this morning, another catalyst announcing additional price increases for hot rolled, cold rolled, and coated steel products used in the automotive business. So CLF, lots of stack catalysts happening. Again, it did pass our initial swing target. Can we swing to about, let's look at the top of this candle here, which is 24.57. The top of this one, 24.61, all about the same place. 24.65 or so, swing target. That could take a week or two to play out. We'll see, but I have an upward bias on CLF today. Look, all these stocks we pointed out, we're talking about a lot of these last night. You can see the market's down and all these are green. So far, so good. BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond, fears about bankruptcy. This is very interesting. There was a news report out Saturday which has gone unnoticed. Well, it got a lot of play on Saturday from routers that Sycamore was going to come in and buy out these assets in a bankruptcy proceeding, which would leave equity holders with about 30 to 50 cents of value. There was some chatter on that Saturday, but totally forgotten about by the time this morning came up. I did buy some puts on Friday, and I may be looking to reload. We'll have to see. But, at this point, I think the writing's on the wall for Bed Bath & Beyond, and good likelihood they're going to go through bankruptcy proceedings. But obviously, very dangerous stock. Got to be careful with this. I would not short this at all. If you're going on the short side, I'd only do it with puts where your losses are limited. So be careful with BBBY. I want to mention a few other stocks. Scorpio, this is from Matt, been telling us about this. STNG. This is a good stock on a red day when the overall market is red. In the energy business, fundamentals really cheap. PE, where do we go? Oh, missed it here. So our PE of 4.8, 10. PE of 10. You have major buybacks by the company almost every day. You have massive insider buys going on, and it looks like the company is protecting the stock price every time it takes a little dip. So on an overall red day like today, I'm liking STNG with, again, the possibility of the company steps in with additional buybacks on that program. WWE, there's basically anticipation they're going to be selling the company. They got an upgrade this morning with a $100 price target. I'm going to ask Vegas more about this when she shows up in just a few minutes. Exact Sciences, we're monitoring this. This has been a huge winner for us. We called it early in the morning at $54 in pre-market when the news came out that they were inflecting to profitability ahead of schedule. Known this company, had on my watch list for a very long time. It's a top holding of Kathy Wood's Arcade, and we called a price target initially of 62 from 54.55 to 62, and then a secondary price target in the 70s to 80s is what I said. And the way there's a lot of congestion you can see right here in the chart with all these candles, and then you have the 200 DMA all the way up at $88. So still holding a position in this. Sold some at the first swing target, but we're looking for 70s, 80s. That's a huge catalyst when you flip to profitability. A growth company flipping to profitability ahead of schedule. Exact Sciences. Generac keeping an eye on. I don't have a position in this now, but we nailed this swing play from like 92 to 103 in like 2 days based on some catalysts there. Followed up by a price target of $160 by an analyst saying they got some legs in green energy. This chart was just beaten up too much, and this is a profitable company. So now at this point, looking at the possibility of initiating another swing with a target of about 125. You can see it here, the top of this gap, 125. You can see the resistance candles right there a few days later. So maybe 125 would be the next swing on Generac. Not really a specific catalyst necessarily today. There was some news today out on Generac, but I don't necessarily think it was market moving enough, but something to watch on Generac, another big winner for us. Monitoring Microsoft here. It's down this morning on a sell rating. We nailed this last week ahead of the crowd on the impact that Chat GPT business would have on Microsoft, on the sentiment for Microsoft. So that did well. I'm out of it now, but monitoring this for pullback entry potentially. We'll have to see where the support levels are in there. You can see the 20 DMA at 234, 235 or so. That may be a spot I may be willing to step in for another bounce based on the improved sentiment from the relationship with Chat GPT. In our backstage, we have Vegas here. We're going to go to her in just 1 second. We just want to point out we do lots of CEO and CFO interviews. Last night, we interviewed the CEO of Assure Software, ASUR. If you become a Story Trading VIP, and there's information on the screen right now, you can go ahead and sign up for a 7-day free trial, and you can listen to the CEO interview we did of ASUR. By the way, one of the big reasons we got air right from $250 all the way to $25 to $30 is because of these frequent CEO interviews we're doing that gives us some better insight into the company. So after last night's Assure, I lost my place, but today we have CVV, CEO of CVV at 4:30. They're a silicon carbide manufacturer. They had a huge a deal last week. We played a quick little spike on that, and now we're looking forward to talking to the CEO at 4:30 to learn more about CVV. There's also been some insider buys there from a 10% holder that came in last week. So possibly very interesting story on CVV. Wednesday at 4:30, we are interviewing someone from our community, Brian, who's been an expert on SMSI. The stock has been rocketing now over the 50 DMA. Can it make a move to the 200 DMA? We'll find out Wednesday at 4:30. We'll learn more about some market research is doing on SMSI. I want to point out Clearfield got an upgrade this morning, actually initiation from Roth with a price target of $120. So hopefully that'll be a good catalyst to turn around what we really think in the community was an unwarranted drop, a sympathy drop with Calix, CALX, something that really has nothing to do with Clearfield. They have earnings coming up in a couple weeks, and we really think this company is going to blow out. When I say we, I'm just summarizing the collective opinion of people in our community. We've interviewed the CEO many times on this. So Clearfield looking good, I believe, and potentially have a nice day or two with the initiation and $120 price target. A couple others I want to point out. COMM, swing trade on this, 9 to 10 target. I already sold some last week on the huge price target increase from about $9 to $17. I forgot which analyst it was. You can go take a look at that. B of A Securities it was. So huge price target increase. We anticipated the breakout. That's one of the things we do at Story Trading, which is different than 95% of traders who are waiting for confirmation. We anticipate, and we'll get in before the breakout. So you can see the 50 and the 200 DMA. I got in size before that because I understood the fundamentals. I understood the impact of that catalyst, anticipating that breakout. So we get bigger returns than pure technical traders do. That's on COMM. I also want to point out GEO, huge short position. Interesting, awesome story here with immigration. Look at this big W forming. I think Vegas. I initiated a swing on this when it broke intraday 1150 last week. I have a swing price target of 12, price target 1 to 15, price target 2 on GEO. There's a lot of other stuff we can talk about, but I'm going to stop there and bring on Vegas to the community. Just hold on 1 second, and we'll bring her in. Vegas, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. I hope everyone had a nice long weekend. Lots of action here in the market. I listened to all your stuff. Wow, full-fledged information. I mean, my gosh, I got to take all these notes here. Bitcoin, watching Bitcoin this today. If it breaks 21,500, as you guys know, I've talked about Bitcoin last couple weeks on the show, and got to watch the levels on Bitcoin. Even if you don't trade Bitcoin, still watch the levels, because if it breaks 21,500, you could see a move to the upside in the market, but also you could see a movement, on those Bitcoin plays like Riot, Mara, MSTR. We had a really great swing trade on MSTR. So
how about Square? I highlighted Square this morning.
Square too, like Square and PayPal also react to Bitcoin as well. And obviously Mara, which I gave a phenomenal swing to the community. We were in that with Story Trading around.
That was awesome. You're on top of that one.
Under $5. Look where it is now. It's heading towards 10. So that one's a good one. So I'll be watching today in particular in terms of swing trades, because I know the Story Trading community likes to do swing trades. I'll be watching Shopify. If it breaks $39, to go long on Shopify. And the other one that I'm watching as well will be NVIDIA.
It's breaking it in pre-market, by the way. When you have these targets here for breakouts, do you consider the pre-market, or do you want to see validation in regular hours at $39?
No, I'm good. I like it. It's breaking out right now. So it's definitely going to be, I'm definitely going to take a trade in Shopify. I will take a swing trade though, because, I'd like to do swing trades with time. So I'll be looking to do the, let's see, probably the $40 calls on Shopify. And if anyone else has a smaller account, I would not go higher than 45, especially if these are 1 month out. These will be expiring on Feb 17. So definitely take time on these. You need time for these trades to work out. My target on Shopify is around 42.50.
Okay. I see, by the way, I see a bullish cross here. Actually, it's a golden cross, 50 over the 200. Another bullish cross, 20 trying to cross the 200. So that's good. So 42.50?
Yeah, that we might target, and the stop loss under 35. So, or, people can make their stop losses tighter. But remember, I'm not trading the commons. I'm trading the options. So I usually like to use levels on the option, on the stock price, to determine if I cut the option trade or not.
I like that play. I'd like to know if there was some catalyst behind it to give me more conviction, but definitely like the chart setup here.
I will
maybe 45 on that.
Well, I will tell you that there was definite money flow on this, and I really like to follow like where is the smart money going. Looks like they have been buying some shop. The other thing too to mention with Shopify, a couple weeks ago, earlier this month, they did launch a new service to the Woo with major retailers. So they did launch a new integration aimed at the largest retailers on Tuesday. Obviously, they have its new commerce component, which allows large retailers to take components of Shopify, integrate it into these components with their existing system. So this is apparently a major step towards relationships with major retailers in a bid to add appeal of its technologies to smaller
Awesome.
retailers and sellers.
That's why I bring you Vegas. You know your stuff. There's like no
Yeah.
other, like, you know, you do mostly technical trading, but you know the background behind the companies. That's awesome.
Yeah, so and I like the CEO Toby Litke. I mean, he's good. He he said that they're going to announce that recurring group winnings are going to be removed for the calendar for the rest of 2023, and they want to obviously approach innovation at Shopify, and which is what retailers want. They want that. So I think that Harley Finkelstein, president of Shopify, mentioned also commerce components for Shopify opens the infrastructure. So the enterprise retailers don't waste time. People want to set up a shop and ready to go. So I think this is really good news for them, and we'll see what Shopify does. But it looks really good. I like their enhancements. So it looks like let's see if the market likes it too. So far, so good. It's over 39.
Okay, so you got Shopify swing trade. I think you like Square. You mentioned that last week as well. I highlighted Square this morning with a $75 swing target. Might even happen today. What do you think about that?
On Square? Let's see here. Not in Square myself, but yeah, it looks good. I mean, you could get, I don't know about getting 75 today, but you know what? You might. You know why? Because if Bitcoin goes like over that level I mentioned, then you'll see a pop in Square. It had a beautiful inside day. So yeah, it looks really good here. Looks nice.
It's lagging, but okay. Can I get, unless there's another one, can I get your thoughts on 2 or 3, or you have something else you want to tell us about?
Yeah. Let's go. Let's whip through them.
Okay. Tesla. All right. So I saw a level here. Well, it was last week's high, right? 125.95, I think it was. 125.95, and we're over the 20 DMA. Give me your thoughts as far as what we need to break here in order to kind of get this to swing into, I don't know. Look at this resistance up here. I'm thinking at some point
I like that it's I'd like that it's over 125 currently, and it's even over 125.05. I do like it. I think there's a lot of momentum in the stock. I think this can head towards 129.84 today, maybe even 130 and 137. So call me crazy.
Wow.
But it has momentum. So
I love it.
As long as it doesn't really get under 120, because remember, like if I take this trade, I might actually even swing it like overnight. But I would not want it to go under 120. That would look really bad for the stock. We don't want it to reject the 125.05 level either, because if not, we'll head towards 119, 116. So
I love it. I mean, if we have that kind of movement towards 129, 130, I would say this 150 becomes in play in a swing time frame.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have Tesla 200 calls for April 21. Those are around $2, but it's a stress-free swing. I don't have to babysit it.
I love it. Very good. Are you familiar with GEO? I think you are.
Yeah, GEO. Yeah. Yeah, that's the prison.
Yeah, I really like the chart setup this morning. Tell me what you see here.
Yeah, I love it. Listen, GEO is a great swing trade. I think I heard another guy on Wolf Spaces, Jaguar, mentioning GEO as well. The GEO group. That's the guy that has prison stuff. But it's a great swing trade. Got a MACD bullish cross and a nice pocket pivot ready to go.
Yes.
So it's a great swing trade. I like it.
Cool.
I like it. What's your target on that? On GEO?
12 is my first price target. 15 is my secondary price target on that.
Yeah, I like to see 12.30, then 14.01, then 16.77. So it looks good.
Cool. Nice. Last thing, I wanted to get an update on WWE. You brought that to our community. It's kind of consolidating up here near 90. Do you still like it?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, let me tell you something. I still like it, and I'll tell you what, this weekly chart is going to break out. So keep it on your watch list. It's showing me a breakout on the weekly. So we're still holding that $90 level quite well. I think we'll have a breakout between, in the coming sessions. Like, I don't know if it'll be today, tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday, but we do have range contraction happening. So when that happens, you can bet your dollars that this could have a range expansion to the upside. So definitely liking WWE still. Looks like a breakout setting up. And earnings, I think, is coming out like February 1st. So, keep that in mind. I would not want to see this stock under like $80, like under 78.80 to be specific. So as long as it's holding, and if you actually look at the weekly chart, look at those volume bars. They're huge. This to me is still telling me that they're accumulating the stock. So I still think we're ready for a higher high, and it's just a matter of like when. So let's.
And we just had a catalyst this morning. If you didn't see it, Wells Fargo upgrades equal weight, raises price target to $100. That just came out this morning.
Oh, well, there you go. So not surprised to see that. And they also did hire the advisors, don't forget, for the strategic review. Remember, there's a possible sale that they're talking about with WWE. They brought in outside advisors to pursue strategic alternatives that could lead to selling a stake of the company or the whole company. So we'll have to, watch and see how that evolves in time. So we'll definitely see, how, over the next couple of days, how this actually trades.
Okay, great. I just have to let the community know. If you need to take off, you can. You can follow Vegas at I Love Stocks 1 on Twitter. If you want to hang on, you can. SMSI, breaking news. SMSI executes new digital family safety contract with Tier 1 U.S. mobile network operator. This is an existing customer if you scan through this real quick, but they've renegotiated the contract now. This is on much better terms because they inherited a contract from an acquirer on a fixed price. Now this is going to a price per member. It's a massive, important deal for SMSI here, trading at 288 by 2. The stock today here. Take a look at that on 290. What would the targets be here? All right, we talked about this. We're talking about this on Friday. Oh, this one, on a swing time frame, you're talking about a move to 350 to 425, but it could take weeks to months to play out. So with that, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And once again, you can go head on over to StoryTrading.com, get a 7-day free trial, and you can get these CEO and CFO interviews as well. Plus, we have the WhatsApp chat room. You can communicate with us. And with that, I got to go. I got to get to trading. Have a great day, guys.